You may be saying to yourself, this looks a little bit funny, and that's because it does. This story will be shot completely on an iPhone, and I'll tell you why. Last night, my driveway at home was completely clear, and when I woke up this morning at about 7 o'clock, it's about yay high. I'm 6'2". The snow causing for a very hectic morning. I normally don't wake up at 7, but an alarm started going off. It wasn't my phone. It was my carbon monoxide detector. It was reading high levels. I ran outside and saw snow piled 4 feet high overnight. It covered my furnace vent, something fire officials say can be very dangerous.
You know, with the new modern heating systems that vent through the sidewall of the house rather than up through a chimney through the roof, that's a very important thing.
After getting that clear, it was out to the driveway, and a shovel was not going to do it. The snowblower was my only option. Not only did I have to get to work, clear off my truck, which, by the way, the snow filled the truck bed completely, my dog had to go out as well. And in this snow, the little guy needed a path and had to be watched in case a plow or a car went by. Trust me, they would not have seen him.
We're dealing with snowbanks at intersections here that are over 5 feet tall right now, so very difficult, not only for animals, children, but other cars at intersections, so that's important.
So a little after 9, I finally got on the road and made it maybe 2 minutes before running into this. After closing 81 last night, many travelers and tractor trailers used the Adams exit to get off the main road. Trucks lined the roadways. The problem is, by the time they wanted to leave Wednesday morning, they were buried in snow or could not make it up the main hill in Adams that leads to Watertown. I sat in that line for at least an hour. Officials did know, though, that was going to be a problem early on.
We probably got 100 tractor trailers here in the village that can't make the hills. That's the problem. They need to close everything if they're going to close.
But my day was nothing compared to what these folks went through. About 150 or so people who were headed north Tuesday night were stuck. Most of them were Canadians whose main language is French. They had to take shelter in the Adams Fire Hall and overnight stay. Now, quite a few had remained by the time I got to it Wednesday. Local restaurants made dinner and breakfast, the local Boy Scouts made lunch, and it was that effort, believe it or not, that saw those people in this kind of mood as they tried to find ways out Wednesday afternoon.
We were directed to come to this shelter, and you guys have been fantastic taking care of us and making sure we get sleep and food and whatever.
Well, it's been quite stressful. We're not used to this kind of weather and all this demeanor going on. But coming to this little community, this has been an amazing experience.
The Adams community even opening up its doors to those stranded. About 40 or 50 people were put up in just people's private houses. By noon Wednesday, many, though, had left, trying to find an alternate route home. In Adams, on my iPhone, Brian Dwyer, Time Warner Cable News.
Communities across the North Country are declaring states of emergency. The town of Watertown, Harrisville, Carthage, West Carthage, and the village of Adams.
We sent 7 News reporter Chris Horvatitz there to see how the village is dealing with this weather.
With Route 81 shut down, travelers turned to Route 11 to make their way between Watertown and Adams. That didn't work out so well for this driver carrying milk, who went off the road just outside Adams Center. It didn't work out for Carla Rivas either, who got her truck stuck in the snow in the village of Adams. With the help of other truckers, she would get out after 30 minutes.
The road, they're not clean and everything. It's a mess. The weather, nothing you can do about it.
Right now, a rare instance where you can actually see more than 100 feet in front of your face. But when that's not the case, what's normally a 15-minute drive from downtown Watertown into Adams took this reporter about an hour. But it wasn't long before the whiteout returned. What are your thoughts, first of all, on the weather?
Sucks. Just coming up here, this is amazing. I can't see nothing. It's just like complete whiteout.
With a state of emergency in effect in the village, the fire station is opening its door to anyone in need. Food, Wi-Fi, warmth, they have it all.
We started out with some people whose car was damaged in a motor vehicle accident and had to be towed, so they had no place to go.
And they plan on being open until the last person leaves. With more snow in the forecast, who knows when that will be. In Adams, Chris Horvatitz, 7 News.
We'll talk more about the heavy lake effect band that has moved south of Watertown, so now we have that relief here today. We can dig out. While the weather has been nerve-wracking at times, 7 News reporter Candace Dunkley met up with some folks who were using the storm as an opportunity to give back.
Watertown is still getting pounded with snow, and workers have been at it around the clock trying to get the city back to normal.
It's an old-fashioned winter, just like living in the North Country.
But not everyone was so optimistic about the storm. Cindy Souls says she's had to shovel for 3 days straight and she's not happy.
I hate it. It's pretty, but I'm over it now. It can go away.
Over in Adams, Keith Schillinger, the owner of Hometown Pizzeria, and his son Corey were helping to dig out businesses in downtown Adams. Schillinger says the village is only allowed to dig out on village property, so business owners have to clean up themselves. Schillinger wanted to help out.
We just do it as a service to the businesses downtown. So I'm a business owner downtown, and we're just trying to keep everybody on equal playing ground and everyone can be open.
This wouldn't be the first time Schillinger has done this. He says he started digging businesses out in December and plans to continue through the winter. In Adams, Candace Dunkley, 7 News.
Every Thursday, you can find these ladies sitting here at Graham's Diner in Adams having lunch together.
We're here for like 2-3 hours, sitting and eating and talking and having a grand old time, catching up.
But this week, they were afraid they'd have to break the tradition.
I was hoping it would clear up by Thursday so we could get to lunch.
Luckily, the snow did clear in time, but this is the first time these ladies have left their homes in days.
This is the first time I've been out since Sunday.
To keep customers and staff safe, Graham's closed during the storm.
We just made the decision that everybody would be better staying at home. We didn't want customers out in it. We didn't want staff out in it. So we just, made the decision based on the weather conditions for that day.
And now that everyone is back out, it's time for snow stories.
Well, most of the time we couldn't even see our neighbor across the street. So, and I don't like it when it gets like that because I feel too closed in.
The snow blew the driveway Tuesday night, and Wednesday morning when you got up, you wouldn't have known you'd touched it.
Just down the road here in Rodman, New York, you can see that neighbors are just starting to dig themselves out. In the last few days, Rodman received 60 inches. That is 5 feet of snow. And while that sounds like a lot, the ladies who lunch say they've seen worse.
And this is kind of what it used to be in the olden days, so the old folks don't mind it, and the young kids think this is horrible, but it's not.
Everybody helps everybody, and I don't know, it's just, I enjoy it, I have fun.
Outside it may be cold, but these ladies stay warm with a hot cup of coffee and memories of the way winter used to be. Reporting from Adams, I'm Dora Scheidel.
All seemed back to normal Thursday morning in Adams. The sun was out, school was delayed but open, and roads were plowed. Now there were still some signs of the aftermath. Just 24 hours ago, things were so bad I couldn't even drive to get into the office to get my camera. I had to shoot an entire story on my iPhone. But what I found was a community in a complete mess coming together to help not only each other, but the 150 or so travelers and dozens of tractor-trailer drivers who were stranded.
It was pretty crowded in there with, all the trucks are in there plus 150 people, and everybody got along very well. Did a great job.
Tuesday night, the Adams Fire Department opened its doors to everyone. It set up cots and gave out its Wi-Fi, even had a large TV. There were even locals that opened up their private homes to these complete strangers. Hometown Pizzeria across the street made some 20 pizzas and brought them over for dinner. The next morning, the folks who run Graham's Diner down the road made sure everyone had breakfast.
Everybody just wanted to find a way to get people home, to get them fed, to keep them warm. It was just everybody wanted to work together for that because, that was what was most important. And as the afternoon wore on, with 81 still closed and tractor-trailers that couldn't make it up hills, blocking roads, the local Boy Scouts came in and made lunch.
We're trying to help out, see what the fire department needs as far as help, and there's a lot of people stranded here, so thought we'd come down and give a hand.
It was an effort that turned what rightfully should have been a miserable experience for so many into something they'll always remember, in a good way.
Well, you see this in the movies. You never expect this to happen to you. But you know what? For the experience, it's been wonderful, thanks to these people here.
Late Wednesday afternoon, the shelter closed down. People were able to go home. A community with enough to worry about on its own, making sure it all happened. In Adams, Brian Dwyer, Time Warner Cable News.